Welcome to News Laundry Chhota Hafta. For the full episode, subscribe because it is behind the paywall and only subscribers get access to uncut, complete content. News Laundry Hafta is our weekly wrap of all that made the news, all that didn't, and all that should have and all that shouldn't have. We agree, we disagree, we critique, and occasionally we beat each other up. But it's all good fun. Subscribe.
This is a News Laundry podcast and you're listening to NL Hafta.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. When the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. This is a News Laundry Hafta where we bore you with the same slogan every time because we mean it. We have a very special guest on our panel today. But before I introduce her, we are going to open the episode with a song. Because so much has happened over the last week. And just the day we were recording Hafta, the one before this, there were two exits, or one exit from the Congress. Mr. Lovely had already left and we dedicated a song to him. The day we were recording, the day after that, Barkha quit the Congress. We're talking about Barkha Singh, for those of you conspiracy theorists who have their, minds working overtime. And then one hears of all sorts of rumblings of people in other parties, including the Aam Aadmi Party, though, no one has gone yet. But there are rumblings of dissatisfaction with leadership. Other than that, on our panel today, Madhu Trehan. Hi, Madhu.
Hello.
Anand.
Hello.
This is Ranga Uncle.
Ranganathan, yes.
Ranganathan. Manisha Pandey.
Hello.
And coming in from the blue corner, from Kolkata, Deepanjan Pal, back in the Hafta panel. Hey, DJ.
Suddenly I've inspired an accent in you. It's good to know.
I'll tell you why.
Tremendous popular demand.
On tremendous popular demand. And why we got an accent is because ever since you have left us and I have taken on the burden of anchoring, of co-hosting Awful and Awesome with
Sri.
Rajshri Sen, I have... The last time I got this kind of abuse was when I said something bad about Modi. Then a very important story which has not been discussed enough, although we carried a little piece on it. India slips 3 places in the World Press Freedom Index. When you see that map of where we stand in press freedom across the world, we are in the league of the Irans and the...
Afghanistan and Pakistan,
so,
troubled nations.
And I think that is still underreported because what we're talking about is the overt stuff, the self-censorship and the underground manipulations
like
and control and suppressions are not documentable.
Then Bibek Debroy suggested bringing agricultural income under tax net. Everyone in the government says it's ko kya pata.
Why did he do that?
I think it's not a bad economic suggestion, but it's not going to be popular electorally. Okay, then of course there was the horrible Maoist attack in Sukma where 25 CRPF personnel were killed. While that was horrific, what shocked me was how it was covered by our television news channels. I'd like to discuss that a little bit. Arnab Goswami, of course, since his channel isn't there, but he couldn't sit quiet, he said, "Chalo Twitter pe kuch bolte hain." So he had questions on Sukma from everybody, but none from the government. There has been a CRPF chief for the last year and a half, I think, maybe 2.
They appointed one yesterday.
Oh, they did? Yeah. Finally. Then Mission Bengal. DJ is just coming from Bengal. She's wearing a sari with cows on it. I'm not joking. She actually is.
I'm genuinely doing this.
So I guess she's been greatly influenced by Amit Shah's trip to Bengal. Is that right?
He's always known the way to my heart.
Bombay High Court grants bail to Sadhi Pragya Singh Thakur in 2008 Malegaon blast case. And as we are recording this, she's holding a press conference live. Then the unique identification number case goes into the courts. And there is a very spirited debate happening right now. And it's going to extend into Mondays, right? It's going to go all the way to Monday, yeah. Manisha. 3 Muslim youth transporting buffaloes are assaulted in Kalka. This happened in Delhi. Kalkaji. It happened in Delhi the day we recorded the last Hafta. And anything more that people want to discuss. On that note, let's kick off the first subject. What do you want to go with, Madhu?
Let's discuss the attack, the
Sukma attack.
Okay, so go... one is, of course, the horrific mutilations that it has come out that there were some of those security personnel mutilated, which is not the first time. I think the Maoists have been known to carry out such horrific things in the past as well, not always to security force, even to villagers who weren't listening to them.
Particularly to villagers, I think.
not just beheadings, they
Mutilate
there was this
their
one
genitals.
version where they were actually, you know what I'm talking about. It's just horrific. So yeah, that happened, but were
the
you
coverage was, I can't understand it, because under any circumstances, every television channel and newspaper should have sent teams out there. But what we got on every channel for the next 2 nights was debates. I don't understand. Where's journalism in just debating? What is there to debate on this? There's been a tragedy. Our forces have been attacked. Is there a debate? You have a debate on the issue of triple talaq, because there are divergent points of view. You might have on uniform civil code. You might have it on
Gorakshaks,
the river
that kind of
sharing
thing.
or Gaurakshaks or whatever. These are debates to be had. What is the debate if, say, is there a debate in the Mumbai siege? What is the debate in that? It happened, you report it.
I think that's
So there was no reporting, and it's disgraceful, and they should hang their heads in shame.
And I think that's such a good, simple, but yet insightful point that should have been made by everybody. There is no debate in this. But because that is the format that everyone has internalized, now you have to have a, because like Madhu said, no one's going to say, nahi, acha hua ye attack. So what do? You structure it. Where is Kanhaiya Kumar? Where is...
So you're just
times
screaming,
now.
what is the CRPF doing? Why didn't they get the road? It's ridiculous. I mean, and one very important thing, I think, in this is that I think that people should just switch off. Let their marketing people know that when they're not giving reports on the subject of the day, they should really exercise their vote by not watching those channels.
Here. I hope you guys are listening. Anand, your views on this entire episode and its coverage?
I think more than the coverage, I'd like to say the kind of depths that we as society have sunk into. I found this as the blood boiled, looking at A, the coverage of it, and B, that these things are repeated almost with like clockwork. I mean, I remember our Home Minister Rajnath Singh. He had tweeted on March 11th, almost identical language of the tweet. My condolences to the family. The place was the same, Sukma. CRPF personnel were killed. And now he does the same again. And nobody's responsible for this. I mean, I'm sorry to use the F word here, but fuck it. I'm just so disgusted. A, because this thing could have been corrected. He has had 3 years to correct the ill-preparedness of CRPF Jawans.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about the attack in Delhi that happened actually.
Club.
Tying in with in Kalkaji, where 3 men who were cattle traders, they were taking buffaloes to a mandi in Ghazipur, and this was Sunday night. And now, according to reports, there were activists of PFA that intercepted the vehicle, stopped them at Kalkaji, and they started beating these boys. As luck would have it, Hartosh was on the spot of all the journalists. I mean, I think...
Hartosh was where?
He was on the spot. When this happened, yeah. He was there.
How?
By chance ki baat hai, Hartosh hi pahunch gaya.
I mean, the most vocal
of all the people.
And
I think he was at Bhairov's Mandir in Kalkaji.
I think he had gone-
what?
It was Shanivar. It was Shanivar, no?
It was Sunday night.
I think no, it was Saturday night. He must have gone for Shani Darshan. That way, Hartosh, if you're listening, Hartosh. Anyway,
Now, I have...
Seriously doubted, but of course, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he started tweeting, the intrepid journalist.
That's actually how I found out that
he
it
started
had
tweeting
happened
about
because
it.
of
He took
Hartosh's
videos.
feed.
He said that there were people with saffron bandanas saying Jai Siya Ram and all that. And a reporter friend of mine, so all reporters then obviously descended very quickly to the spot. A reporter friend of mine was also there. And he was like, when I reached there and I started asking, so the police had already taken the people. There was a mandir nearby, so there was some jagrata. It's still not clear who beat these boys up. Whether it was the PFA guys, the police says it was PFA, and this PFA guy has had a history with cow vigilantism. Saurav and Gaurav Gupta, I think there are 2 brothers. Back in 2014, they were doing the same thing with RSS men, intercepting vans and sort of going at them. So when this reporter friend of mine arrived there, he was like, I spoke to a lot of people, and a lot of people, the scary thing was he's like, people said that ye public ki maar hai.
You what?
Ye public ki maar hai. And that is what is scary, because these guys they had the papers. They were not, this was not cows. Apparently, they had overloaded the vehicle.
Okay, so
there was.
here's the thing. I think the only animal that is safe to grow in animal husbandry circumstances now are rabbits.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Everything else can be a cow now.
Because it's hair today, gone tomorrow.
Oh, terrible. Terrible. But because there was a case...
Because people are very rabid about it.
They're very rabid about these cows. Anyway.
How funny bunny.
The world.
How funny bunny, high five. Madhu, you win. Madhu wins this week's speech. How funny bunny. Too good. Maza aa gaya.
No, because I was thinking there was a goat that was... there was somebody who had a goat which was mistaken for a calf. There are buffaloes that are being now mistaken for cows. First of all, clearly Gaurakshaks don't know what they're rakshaing.
This is unreal.
That's
This
one
discussion.
problem. But
Yeah, because in all these cases, there were no cows.
There are no
Actually, even the
cows.
incident that happened in Jammu and Kashmir with
Exactly.
Bakar.
A bakri for a calf.
there was somewhere that they mistook a bakri for a calf.
Okay, if any
This is
Gauraksha
unreal.
listen to this, a bakri has 2 udders, a cow has 4. Dude, that even I learnt in class 2. What kind of Gaurakshaks are you? India has slipped 3 places in the World Press Freedom Index. India ranks 136 on the latest World Freedom Index, a report published by Reporters Sans Frontiers. कैसे करते हैं
Reporters Without Borders.
Sans
Frontières.
Sans frontier.
Reporters Sans Frontières.
No, don't put on any accent. Just say sans, which means
भाई साहब,
without.
Reporters Sans Frontier लिखा है.
Song is also
Sans-
Punjabi, by the way.
sans Frontier.
Sans.
Sans Frontier.
Song is a Punjabi word, right?
हाँ, sans
Every song.
Rabdi sans Jaj Shiv Shankar. India fell 3 positions from its previous year's ranking of 133. It is now placed under a difficult situation group along with Pakistan and Afghanistan. The piece is, it's a short. You can read on our website. DJ, thoughts, how good are we? How bad have we become?
I mean, obviously this warmed the cockles of my heart. But a couple of months ago, maybe it was last year, remember there was a study that came out about the amount of trust that the public has in the media. And India is actually quite high in that list, as in
We're
the
still-
Indian public does trust
Yes, I remember that
what the
report.
media brings out. And there was a little bit of furor about it because everyone had assumed that India would be lower on that list as well. But our public thinks that the media is credible despite throwing around the terms of paid media, etc., etc. Now, in the context of that, where the public thinks that the media is credible, and this is where the media actually is in terms of freedom of press, what a misinformed country we are today. That is horrifying to me.
and Manisha?
So, the report actually has a subhead, headline threat from Modi's nationalism, and it says, with Hindu nationalists trying to purge all manifestations of anti-national thought from the national debate, self-censorship is growing in the mainstream media. I think that is so true. And this is what we were discussing about Sukma too, that it isn't just about overt clamping down, but the the self-censorship and just sucking up to the government, which is also one of the prime reasons why we've slipped the way we have.
And Manisha, I don't know for how long this report that you have in front of you, open, would be allowed, would
Yeah,
not
the
be
map
censored
is-
because the
The map is not what we believe the
It
Indian
has
map
Kashmir.
is. Yeah.
But one thing, and I think, a lot of people who are in the not so favorable of Modi, we tend to overstate sometimes the danger to threat on freedom of speech by him, under him, and understate what it was under UPA.
It's the same, pretty much.
If you
the
remember,
same.
we had to run in a 66 save that
Yeah.
we ran a
Yeah.
campaign.
Yeah.
And I don't know
But
how
you
many
see, there's
conservative mouthpieces ran such campaigns where we called, in fact, Mr. Sibbal's son, and Madhu grilled him on that. And even then, conservatives didn't have the nuts to take on the government. Liberals took on even that government. I mean, we can make all the fun we want of him, but Amit Shah is a organizer par excellence. He can organize like a general that wins battles and wars. Now he's gone to Naxalbari to launch Mission Bengal over there. I think Mamta's worried. But how did Bengal react while you were there?
So when I wasn't there when Amit Shah landed. I was there in the prelude period. there's certain things that are things that have taken at least urban Calcutta by surprise to some extent. For instance, on Ram Navami, there were processions of people wearing saffron-colored bandanas and carrying trishuls on the streets of Calcutta.
Children,
No, children, adults, both.
Which has not happened in the past.
This is not a regular thing.
Okay.
This is quite new. For urban South Calcutta in particular, this is very new. Also, you can clearly see that the BJP is working very hard to go into a position where they are sort of, taking care of the Hindu majority, because the government, and this is the narrative that they're putting forward, of course, that the government appeases Muslims because they are the minority, and that vote bank factor, which has been used for years. The narrative is clearly very persuasive. I haven't come across so many people. Admittedly, I was in Calcutta after a long time, for as long as I was this time, but I haven't come across this many people who have openly said that, the Muslims need to be shown their place because they've been getting too many advantages for too long. I really haven't heard this bluntly put forward. For example, 3 people told me that, in Bengal, nobody will, and if you go to a police station and ask to file an FIR against a Muslim, it will not be filed because Muslims are privileged in this state.
It's the same sort of thing you hear in UP. Also,
that we heard in UP.
That you cannot file an FIR against a Muslim.
I'm pretty certain that is not true. We kind of have evidence to that effect in recent events. However, it's a narrative that is winning people over. You add to that the fact that, another major issue in Bengal is people coming in from Bangladesh, right? And using these refugees, giving them false identification, legalizing them so that they vote for a particular party. This has been done by different parties over time.
In Assam as well, right?
In Assam as well. A big deal in Assam. And it was, in fact, one of the unofficial planks of the BJP victory. That has come up again. What we saw in Dhulagarh, for example, that there is a outsider mob, is what I would call it. Locals call it a Muslim mob, coming up and killing/looting Hindus, and the TMC government ostensibly doing nothing.
Is that true?
What is true is that there was mob violence. It is also true that, these places like Dhulagarh and Howrah, and I'd written a piece on it, so that'll have better figures, as in, I don't remember the figures as accurately now. But the percentage between Hindus and Muslims is almost even over there.
Okay.
So in the last 5-7 years, there has been a lot of violence, and little bursts are regular. They don't usually go this far. They did go quite far with Dhulagarh. And TMC tends to not pay that much attention
because
to
it's a vote bank. They have the Muslim vote bank. So I think everyone's pandering to that.
Yeah, but this time that there is a certain anxiety from just the way Mamata Banerjee has been in the last couple of weeks been emphasizing her Hindu-ness. She's been going on and on about how she is the real Hindu, how she's the good Hindu.
Sun liya Afrika, mufat khoron. Not to brag or anything, but News Laundry Hafta features in the top 50 in the world on SoundCloud in the news and politics category for podcasts. So do subscribe and see what you're missing, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Subscribe, help keep news independent and free. All News Laundry podcasts are available on iTunes and Stitcher and any other podcast platform.